Yeah, hello, good morning. Good afternoon to everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar, which is scheduled today at 3 p.m. on IBM SPSS Modeler. We just shall wait for another few more minutes and start the session. So, um, yeah, and we are just waiting, for our SME also to join. And yes, thereafter we will start the session. Thanks. Kindly be stay tuned with us. And good afternoon, Mr. Saurabh.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, you could hear us. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great, great. Okay. So yeah, almost many of our participants have joined already, and we are just 2 minutes of ahead. So, would you like to share your presentation?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, great. So I'll just hand over. I will make you presenter.
Do I share it, sir?
Yes, of course, sir. 1 minute. I have made you the presenter, and I hope you will be having access now. I hope you are access. Yeah, we can view your TV screen. Great. Okay. Great. So I think we are almost set and ready, and we are also we have reached to 3 p.m. So I just would take a little opportunity to introduce, and then I will just hand over to you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Very good afternoon, everyone, and myself, Kalyan, representing from Amster Technologies Private Limited, Bangalore. I have joined along with my senior colleague, Mr. Anand and Shiv Kumar, and of course, senior most SME subject matter expert on IBM SPSS tool, which has been one of the popular tool in the industry for its robust analytical system, which is going to be the overview of it will be taken over by Mr. Saurabh, and we will of course hear more from Sir in a short while. To short a brief about us, Amster is a 15 years old organization, an ISO 9001-2015 certified company, and also affiliated to many chapters of repute like Computer Society of India, NASCOM, Bangalore Chamber of Industries and Commerce, and many more. We are into IT and non-IT technical services, and an IBM business partner for their product training, software sales, consulting, and manpower sourcing as well. And we also affiliated to we are also affiliated to Arrow ECS, who is one of the global player in terms of the computing side. So thanks for joining our today's short webinar on IBM SPSS Modeler, which is going to be presented by Mr. Saurabh Agarwal. And Saurabh sir is a graduate and a postgraduate engineer from IIT Kanpur and IIT Delhi. He has interest in data mining, data analysis, business analytics, structural equation modeling, machine learning, and works on platforms like R, Python, SPSS, IBM Watson Analytics, and so on. He has conducted international workshops, trainings for Saudi Aramco, KBM, Kuwait, Ministry of Road Transport, Abu Dhabi, and domestic trainings for IBM, AMA, New Delhi, IIT, New Delhi, IOC, AI, and Ernst & Young. So more, of course, you will hear from Mr. Saurabh. So today's session is for an hour, and which is going to be pure technical and the complete understanding and overview about SPSS Modeler you will hear from Mr. Saurabh. So I just take a leave here and like to request Mr. Saurabh to take over the charge and take forward the presentation. Over to you, sir. Thank you so much, and have a nice webinar.
Thank you, Kalyan sir from Amster Technologies. Thank you, Anand sir, for giving me this opportunity to brief the participants on this popular tool, which we call it as IBM SPSS Modeler.
Thanks,
It's a very popular tool, and I'll take you through a small presentation on what this basic tool actually looks like and how it can be useful for all of you who are interested in doing this particular module on SPSS Modeler. So to begin with, if you look on the IBM website, they have a complete module on business analytics. And if you see the business analytics, they have something known as SPSS. Besides the other applications like Cognos, WebSphere, and all that, but their flagship application is SPSS, which they acquired from the SPSS group as it is way back in 2007. And this SPSS itself was an organization based in California in USA, and they started dealing with these products from 1965 onwards. But then SPSS was acquired by IBM, and so that is why now you will always see the word IBM SPSS Modeler since 2007. And now they are promoting it, they are developing it, and taking it forward. So if you see on the SPSS module, they have a number of applications listed inside SPSS. Like to begin with, we have something known as SPSS Statistics, the one which is purely used for doing some kind of statistics in SPSS. And then the application of these statistics is basically done in what we call it as the SPSS Modeler. This is where you can make a model, and the advantage of modeler is that you can deploy the model in the industry. So that is one of the major plus points with SPSS Modeler. And as I'll demonstrate on the screen, you'll see that how SPSS Modeler can be deployed in the industry. So basically, it's a tool to develop a model, plus it's a deployment tool. That means you can deploy your model on the servers in the industry, and people can use it at the different nodes. So that is one beauty and that is why it is very popular as far as model development and deployment is basically concerned. I'll just show you a few slides as far as SPSS Modeler is concerned, right? And then maybe you can ask your questions, right? Regarding SPSS modeler or something which you think may be a part of SPSS modeler, that is what you can actually ask. I'll just share this new screen. Yeah, so I'll just show you these slides. So basically, the name of the application is IBM SPSS Modeler, and the basic area which it covers is that is what we call it as a data mining tool, right? Where you can actually mine your data, right? Data mining basically means that you input some raw data and then like you do basically mining where you get minerals, good minerals out of the basic ones. Similarly, you have the raw data going into and then you get some information out of that data. That information actually helps you to take some important decisions as far as your industry is concerned. So it's basically a data mining tool. That means you have some data going into the application, right? That data can be anything. We can discuss lots of about different kinds of data which are available, right? And there are very good sources of data also, depending upon what is the kind of data you are interested in. We have quantitative data, we have qualitative data, we have textual data, we have data coming in from blogs, like uh, uh, people giving responses to certain questionnaires. So there is lots of data which is available on the net these days. So once you put this data into SPSS modeler, then it basically mines your data. Mines your data means appropriate algorithm is used to mine the data. Once you mine the data, you come out with some meaningful information, information which you can use to take some important decisions. So this is basically uh, divided into three basic parts. One is where you input the data, then then there are algorithms which mine the data, and then finally there is an output which gives you the results once the data is mined, and that mined data will give you some information, right? That information can help you to take certain decisions as far as that particular mining is concerned. So the broad category into which this tool comes into is known as a data mining tool. We have statistical tools also, but basically statistical tools are quite different from data mining tools, right? Statistical tools, we have algorithms which work separately, but in a data mining tool, you can put lots of algorithms in one flow and then get the final result out of it. So basically, the name of the application is SPSS Modeler, and the broad category into which you can define this particular tool is that it is a data mining tool. Now, this is the basic screen of SPSS Modeler. So this screen is basically divided into, if you see my cursor, these are the basic options, pull down menus you have, right? And the at the bottom part is the various nodes, right? The beauty of SPSS modeler is all the algorithms have been put into different nodes. And if you see, when I put my cursor, if you see on the left, you have a auto, data preparation, type, filter, derive, filler, reclassify, right? All these are different nodes which are available. And this on this particular canvas, you see my canvas, you can put all these nodes, right? And then you connect these nodes using these arrows. And this is what technically, basically, we call it as the stream, right? You have a stream running from a higher end to a lower end. Similarly, you have a stream running from the left end to the right end. So yeah, this is basically what we technically call as a stream. And this is where you put all the different nodes together. The beauty of SPSS modeler is you can keep on changing the input. The leftmost node is the node which takes the data, right? And this data you can keep on refreshing the data. The more the data you get on your server, this node will be directly connected to that particular source from where you are actually getting the data. So this leftmost node keeps on refreshing the data, and this data passes through this stream, and this stream is basically connected to these arrows. So your data passes through first a sort node, SORT, sort node. So this node is doing some kind of a sorting on the data. Maybe your data is getting sorted on a particular field depending upon the requirement. And then once the data is sorted, then you pass it to the type node. This is the type node, right? Where you put the nature of the variables, right? You tell what is the nature of each of the variable on which we have collected data, whether it's a numerical or a string data or a categorical data or a nominal data or an ordinal data or a scale data, right? Depending upon what is the nature of each variable, and this is what you basically decide in this type node. So it's simple. If you see from left to right, your data is passing from an input node to a sort node to a type node. And then we have two models which are, this is what is basically known as a golden nugget, right? This nugget basically stores the uh, model. This stores the model. So as you can see on the screen, the top nugget, there is something written as taxable value. So this is a small model which calculates the taxable value, right? Out of the total income you have, right? What is the taxable value? Now, to calculate the taxable value, there must be some if condition, and then that if condition has been put in this particular model. So once you run the model, this model nugget will create, give you an output, which is the taxable value of your total income. And this output can be shown on this output. This is the output where you can see what is the rule which is used to calculate the taxable value. So basically, this is a very small stream which I have been trying to demonstrate in front of you, in which the raw data is passing to through multiple nodes. Like it is passing through a sort node, it is passing through the type node, and then it is passing through a model nugget node where actually you have created the model to calculate the taxable value. And then finally, you can see the rules which you have used and what is the output of each person's taxable value in this particular output node. So this is one way you can use modular to get some meaningful information. And the moment you change the input node, the moment you refresh the input node, again the stream will run, right? You don't need to do anything. The stream will run again and it will recalculate the taxable value. So the beauty is you keep on refreshing the data from the left hand side, which is connected to the server, and on the right hand side, you will get the new taxable value depending upon your old data. So this is basically a small way where the way in which you use this SPSS modeler. Now the beauty of this SPSS modeler is that we need to understand all the different nodes, right? which you can use. And all these different nodes you can find in, you can see my cursor, right? These are the buttons which stores the different nodes. Like you have a favorite button, this favorite button will have all the nodes which you use very frequently that you can put under favorites, right? Similarly, you have a sources node, right? The sources button which will have all the nodes which can be a part of this source button. Then you have something known as record operations, field operations, graphs, then different algorithms to do modeling, then different kinds of output which you have, right? The way you can have different kinds of outputs in a tabular form or in a graphical form, right? Or a cross tabulated form. We have so many nodes to display the output. Then whatever output you get, right? If you want to export it into a different format, you want to export it into an Excel file or an Oracle file, right? Or an MDB file, right? Or an SPSS file. So you have this export button which will show all the nodes which can be used to export whatever output you get for SPSS modeler into any other different application. So what we generally study in is it's a vast package, right? And all this is inside these nodes which you can see on the screen. So right now I have selected the field operations, the nodes which are there as far as the field operations is concerned. So I'll just give you a brief overview of the different kinds of nodes which are present under each heading, like the nodes present under sources, the nodes present under record operations, the nodes present under field operations, what kind of nodes we have under graphs, modeling, output, and export. So it will give you a brief idea of the vastness of this package, and there is almost all the different kinds of models that can be made in this particular application. So this is the way this whole screen is divided. In the middle part is your canvas where you make the entire stream, and stream is basically a collection of nodes which are linked together, and the arrows indicate the direction of the flow of the stream. Which nodes you will use, that is where your expertise comes into picture, and all these nodes are available under different headings: a source heading, record operations, field operations, graphs, modeling, output, export. The more you study these nodes and how to make use of these nodes, the better is the stream you can make, and better is the model that you can make to get some kind of a good output. If you see on the right side, right, if you see on the right side, there are two boxes, right? One which shows there are three options: streams, outputs, and models. So you can keep on creating streams, right? And these streams will be stored, right? You can click on any stream, on the icon of any stream, and that particular stream will be active on the uh, canvas on the left hand side. Similarly, you can store the different results or the outputs which you get into SPSS modeler. And when you click on this output button, it will show you all the different tables which have been made as far as the output is concerned. And you can view any tabular output or any graph, right, as far as the output is concerned. So basically, this output is storing all the different outputs which have been created in the different streams. And finally, you have a button of models. This model shows what are the different models that you have created in this particular session. And you can click on any particular model. And if you see right now on my screen, there are 5 golden nuggets: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in the current session, I have created 5 models. And I can click on any model, right, any golden nugget, and that particular model will become the current model and will be presented on the canvas on the left hand side. So on a glimpse, you can get to know what are the different streams you have, which you have created in this session, what are the different outputs which you have created in this session, and what are the different models which you have created in this session. You can click any one of them and that will become current on the left hand side. So this is what is your this is what we call it as the properties pane. This is what is known as the properties pane. And then the last one on the right side bottom is where you have the way you can put your project, right? One is you can put it as a crisp DM process, right? So this crisp DM is a proprietary of SPSS Modeler. This is a cross-industry standard procedures for data mining, right? Which has been developed by SPSS Modeler, and you can put all your files in the different uh, folders, like the business understanding can have all the documents which helps you understand why you about the business for which you are making the model. Then you have a data understanding where you can have different kinds of data which you have downloaded and you have put in this particular folder. Then data preparation, right? How you have prepared the data for data mining. Then modeling, evaluation, and deployment. So basically, CRISP DM gives you these 6 folders, and you can arrange your entire work under this 6 different folders, right? So it becomes an easy, if you are working on 5 or 6 projects, right? You can have 6 different folders, and under each folder, you will have these 6 subfolders where you can put different parts of your work for you to easily understand it. The second way you can arrange your work is using different classes, right? You can have a different classes under which you can also segregate your entire project. So this is basically the project manager window where using this window you can manage your entire project. So this is the properties window and this is the project manager window. This is the canvas where you will make your entire street, right? This is the pull down menu. These are small icons for basic things. These are the notes which you will be using, right, to make the stream on the canvas. So now let me also give you a brief idea on the uh, different nodes which can be used, right, as far as SPSS modeler is concerned. So let me go to the next slide. And you can see that this is what we call it as the, where this arrow is there, this is the nodes palette. I've shown it through an arrow. This is the nodes palette. So entire in this broken line box, you have the nodes palette, right? And all these nodes have been put under these palettes. Sources palette, record operations palette, field operations palette, graphs palette, modeling palette, output palette, and the export palette. Everything which you do in SPSS modeler is basically stored under these nodes palette, NODES nodes palette. And if you click on any nodes palette, like right now I have clicked on field ops, so these are the nodes which are available under field operations. So we need to understand in SPSS modeler what each node is about in each palette and when can it be used, right? So we need to have 3 basic understandings. One is what kinds of nodes are available in each palette. Then what is that? When can you use that particular node? When is it useful to know? When do I use a type node? When do I use a filter node? When do I use a derive node? When do I use a filler node? When do I use a reclassify node? Right? So that is the understanding which we should actually have. And then what is the sequence of steps which we should do to use that particular node? So as far as SPSS modeler is concerned, we need to have 3 basic understandings, right? One is what are the different nodes present, right? With each new version of modeler, they are adding nodes, right? Then what each node does for me, right? If I want to do something on the data, what a node can do for me. And then third, basically, how will you use that particular node? What are the different kinds of settings you need to give in that particular node, right? So that you can execute your work. So This is where the maximum time goes when you start using SPSS modeler, trying to understand, right, which node can be used where, right? Because if you suppose you want to filter the data, right? You want only the data for the suppose people who have gender as male, then naturally you will use a filter data. So filter data will do what? Right? The filter node will filter only participants who have the gender of male. Just for an example. So that is where the filter node comes into picture. If you can see on my screen, my cursor is on the filter node. Then there is a derive node, right? If I want to derive a new field from the existing field, suppose I have a field which gives you the performance of a student in two subjects, and I want a new field which is the total. Total is the addition of the marks in the two subjects, which gives the overall performance of the student. So I can use a derive node to derive a new node or to derive a new variable from two existing variables. Similarly, there is something known as a reclassify node. Reclassify means suppose I have collected data on three occupations, right? One is a person who's having his own business. Second is a person who is retired, and third is a person who is employed. And now I want what from these three different categories, I want to create only two categories, right? So what I want is to reclassify my variable and change the number of categories from suppose 3 to 2 because that is what is my requirement. So that is where this reclassify node becomes important. So I'm just trying to tell you, right, what these nodes are basically about, right? Similarly, you have a binning node. It's a beautiful node where you can put the data into different bins. Suppose you have collected data on a score of 0 to 100, on a score of 0 to 100, and you want to put this data into 5 bins, 0 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 60, 60 to 80, 80 to 100. Now, instead of doing it manually, which will take a lot of time, I can use this binning node. I can use this binning node. This binning node will automatically bin. Bin means to put it into different intervals of data. And it can also tell you, depending upon the data which you have, what will be the best way to do binning or what should be the interval of each class, right? So that is where this binning comes into picture. So these are a few nodes which are very powerful as far as this field operations are concerned. That means you are trying to work on the different fields on which you have tried to collect data. So basically, a data in a tabular form has two things. Uh, the vertical ones or the columns are known as the fields, and the horizontal ones or the rows are the cases on which you have collected data. So data in statistics, data for analysis is basically in tabular form, and tabular form is what when you have the data under a combination of rows and columns. This is also known as structured data. In technically, we call it as a structured data. Sometimes we get structured data, and sometimes we get unstructured data. Like you have the data in the PDF file or in a Word document. That is what we call it as an structured data. So uh, maybe you need to convert an unstructured data into a structured data also, right? Depending upon the way you have been able to get data. The next one is right. After the nodes palette, right? The next one what you have is, as I said, there are two more palettes which are available. Now, this is what is known as the modular managers, right? When you see, it is the modular managers palette, right? Or the managers window, right? So this gives you basically three things: streams, outputs, and models. Streams, outputs, and models. The next one which you have is the modular projects, right? So you can arrange your entire projects under two ways. One is the crisp DM way, and one is the way to put it under different classes. This window helps you to put your complete project under different headings so that your project can be easily understood by putting different kinds of files into different kinds of folders. So this is the way this opening screen of SPSS modeler looks like. And when we start learning on SPSS modeler, we take a while to understand the complete layout of SPSS modular screen. So I told you in brief, right, that this is the way the screen is actually arranged. Anything you want, you can ask later on, right? Now this is what is the canvas. The one which is shown in the dotted line is your canvas, right? This is the canvas on which you basically make the screen, or in which you make the entire screen out of it, right? So uh, this was the stream. So now if I say this, the center part is your stream, right? This is your manager's window. This is your properties window. This is your different palettes. And under each palette, these are on the last line, these are the different nodes. Now just for an idea, right, what are the different nodes palette which were present? The first one is the sources palette, right? The sources palette gives you all the different ways by which you can put your data into modeling, right? Nodes bring data into SPSS modeling. That is where is the sources palette, right? And you can have your original data under different things. It can be a database file, right? It can be a file which is comma separated. It can be a statistics file like SPSS. It can be an Excel file. It can be an XML file. So once you use the sources palette, right? You can see on the bottom of my screen, I have clicked on the sources palette, and these are the different nodes which are available in the sources palette. So depending upon what is the original source of your data, right? You can use a node for it. If you have a file which is under a database, like an MDB file, right? You can use the database node, right? Can you see the word SQL written over here? So this is the SQL. You have a SQL file, right? So you can use the database node which is present in the sources. Similarly, if you have a var means your file has variables which are separated by a comma, or they are separated by a tab. That is where files generally work, the kind of files which you make in a notepad. So if that is the kind of file you have, then you can use the var file node. It's a very important node which we generally use to put the data in our stream. Similarly, if you have a file which is in SPSS file, SPSS statistics file, right? SAV file, that is where you can use the statistics file node, right? Similarly, if you have a SAS file, right, you can use the SAS file node. If you have file in an Excel format, right, you can use the Excel file format node, right? So these are all the different nodes which are available depending upon what is the way you want to input your data into SPSS module. And the beauty of SPSS modeler is that it supports all the file types which are available. There is absolutely no file type which modeler doesn't support. And uh, more and more file types are getting added with new versions of SPSS modeler. So you don't need to convert your original file into anything, right? You can use directly the file which is available, or the file which you have got in which stores the data, ranging from a SAS file to an SQL file, to an Excel file, to a SAV file, to a CSV file, to a TXT file, any kind of file which is there that can be used as an input to SPSS modeling. The second node which we have, if you can see, is the record ops. This is a node which performs any operations on the records. Records are what? Records are the horizontal rows. Suppose you have the data in two files, so you can use an operations to merge the two files. There are two things in database: merging a file and appending a file. Appending generally means two files with the same fields, and the data is Data in the second file is appended to the first file. Merging means, right, you have some fields in one file and some fields in the other file. So you can use the merging operation to create a new file, which is the merged file in which the fields have been added to create a new file. So all these operations when you require, depending upon how is your data, is the data separated into two files which have the same fields, you can use appending. If you have data in two files which have different fields, you can use merging. All this you can do using the record operations. So it's a very, very powerful palette which gives you all the necessary tools, right, for working anything on the records or the samples on which you have collected data. The next one which you have is the field operations. It's also a very powerful, the one which we were discussing, right, where you work on the fields or the vertical columns, right? Or records means on the horizontal rows. On the fields means the vertical columns. Suppose you want to derive a new field from the existing fields, you want to set up the measurement level of the given fields, whether the variable is nominal, ordinal, or scaled, right? You need to understand what is a nominal variable, what is a scaled variable, what is an ordinal variable. So you can do some kind of a filtering. That means if you want to work on a particular data from the complete data so that your model is not very heavy, that is what you can do using filtering. So all this is present under one palette, which is known as the field operations, right? You can use partition. Later on, we do partition where we break the complete data set into training and testing, right? So we make the model on the training data set and then see the performance of the model on the testing data set, right? Even you can have three partitions nowadays: training, testing, and validation. So instead of breaking the data set manually, which takes a lot of time, you can use this partition node, right? This partition node present in the field operations, right? And this will help you to partition your variable into training, testing, and validation, right? You can put it as 60%, 30%, and 10%. 60% is your training data set, 30% is your testing data set, and 10% is your validation data set, right? So all these things you can do, right? Which will make your life easy using the field operations. Next is the graphs. It's also beautiful. You can draw a number of graphs. You can draw a histogram. You can draw a box plot, right? You can draw a bar plot, right? You can draw a pie diagram, right? You can draw a web graph, right? You can draw a heat map. All these are different kinds of graphs which are available, right? You can draw a time series plot, right? How the object is behaving with time actually, and that is where the time series analysis comes into picture. You can draw a box plot to get an idea of the kind of outliers you have in your data, because then you will need to do something on the outliers. You can draw a histogram to find out whether your data is normally distributed or not. You can draw a distribution graph to get an idea how is the data distributed along the different categories of a categorical object. Like you have a categorical object like gender, so you can get to know how many males and how many females are there using a distribution graph. If this is the same thing you want in percentage, you can draw a pie chart telling you 60% males and 40% females. So these graphs are very important, right? Which helps you to give a visual display of the data which you have collected. So whenever we collect data, we always tell people using some visualization that this is the kind of data which we have collected. And that is where this graphs palette becomes very handy, which gives you exposure to all the different kinds of graphs which are there. And within minutes, you can draw hundreds of graphs using SPSS modeling. Then the next most important palette is the modeling palette. Like this is very, very important, right? And the modeling palette has all the different algorithms for making the model. So basically, we have three basic kinds of models. One is what you call it as a segmentation model. The next one is a predictive model. right? And the third one is an associative model. So all the models which you have are basically put under three broad headings, right? One is a segmentation model, the second one is a predictive model, and the third one is what we call it as an associative model. And in SPSS modeler, under each category, we have hundreds of algorithms. Like if you talk of segmentation model, we have cluster analysis for doing some kind of clustering, right? Then we have network neighborhood, right? So you are trying to cluster or similar objects, similar cases into one broad cluster. That is where this segmentation comes into picture. And all those people who are into marketing, right, for them, this clustering is very important. Like you have all the different vehicles of present, you have that Ola cab service in the metros, right? So if you book a car, they have basic four clusters: micro, mini, prime, and sedan. So that is the clustering they have done. They have put certain vehicles under micro, certain vehicles under mini, certain vehicles under prime, and certain vehicles under sedan. So that is where this segmentation becomes very, very powerful. And for doing segmentation, SPSS modeler gives you number of algorithms to do this segmentation. Similarly, the second broad heading is prediction, where we want to do some kind of a prediction, whether a student will pass or fail, whether a person should be given a credit card or not, whether a person should be given a loan or not. If these are the different kinds of predictions which we do in a real life, right? They all come under one broad modeling tool that is known as predictive modeling. And in SPSS modeler, we have varieties of predictive modeling algorithms. We have linear regression, we have neural network, we have decision trees, right? These are just the broad headings I'm just saying. We need to go deep into each of the algorithms, right? So modeling takes lots of time as far as SPSS modeler is concerned, trying to understand what is the need, what is the need, or what is that on which we need to make the model, right? Whether it is a segmentation model, whether it is a predictive model, or whether it is an associative model, right? If you are going in for something like a big bazaar where you want to stack your products, right? We must have seen similar products are stacked nearby, so that depending on the purchasing habit of the customers, if he picks up one product, he is bound to take the product which is situated nearby, because that is the way, that is what we call it as associative modeling. That is what we call it as associative modeling, right? And the most popular algorithm for associative modeling is market basket analysis, which SPSS modeler encompasses in the associative modeling palette. So modeling takes lots of time as far as the SPSS modeler is concerned. And when we do this, we tell, right, under what are the different algorithms available and when can you use a particular algorithm. That is the most important. When can I use a decision tree? When can I use a neural network? When can I use a linear regression? When can I use a logistic regression? Right. So we also tell, right, as far as modeling is concerned, when to use a particular modeling tool which is best suited for the analysis or the model which you need to make as far as the industry is concerned. The next one is the output palette, which gives you how you want to store the output, right? You can store it as a report. You can also store it as an R output. R output means it will give you the coding right in R, and then you can take this coding into R and then expand upon using different libraries which are available in R. So that is something beautiful it does for you. Then you have an analysis to node which will compare between the different models. For the same thing, if you have made a model using linear regression and neural network, then the analysis node will tell you which model is performing better. Is it the linear regression or is it the neural network? So that comparison between the models can also happen, using the analysis node, right? If you can see my cursor, right, this is the analysis node, right? If you want the output in a tabular form, then you can use this table node on the left hand side for the output. So depending upon how you want the output, right, you have many different ways. If you want the statistics, right, mean, median, mode, right, then you can have the statistics node present to you. If you want to do comparison of means or testing of hypothesis, right, parametric and non-parametric tests, that is where this means comes into picture, right? So all these nodes are present, means is present, report is present, statistics is present, analysis is found when there is a data audit node, right? This tells you how many missing values are present in your data, right? And then how to handle this missing values. Missing values is that the data which you have not been able to collect as far as the data collection is concerned. So this data audit node is very, very important. It also tells you if there is some ambiguity in your data, right? Maybe your data is not entered into the right way, right? Some people write capital M for male or MALE for male. So there can be different ways people have put in, right? But all of them means that the gender is male. So that is what else data audit can also tell you. Then once we have done in SPSS modeler, then this is the export mode. You can export your final data into different formats, into an Excel format, Cognos, right, SAS format, because we want to now take the new data set into some other format. So that is where this export mode becomes very handy, right? So these are all the different modes which are present into modular, and then you have a basic SPSS modeler, then you have something known as the IBM SPSS modeler Gold, which also gives you access to qualitative analysis, right? So there is also known as SPSS modeler Gold, GOLD Gold, right? Which also gives you, besides quantitative data analysis, some qualitative data can also be used for doing some kind of, that is what is known as IBM SPSS text analytics. IBM SPSS text analytics. You can do analysis on a data which is unstructured format, like you have a PDF file, Word file, or you have downloaded it from a blog, right? Trying to collect the perceptions of people of on the different networks which we have, right? What is the perception of people? If that sentiment analysis you want to do, then you have something known as IBM SPSS text analytics also as a part of SPSS. So these are the different kinds of palettes which are available, right? And then in the modulus manager, I told you, you can use the streams to see what are the streams which you have created in this particular session. You can create hundreds of streams in a particular session, and each of these streams will be stored in this modular manager's pane, which has streams. Then the second one is the outputs. All the outputs which are created by different streams are stored here, and you can click on any one of them and see what was the output from that particular stream. And the third one is the models tab, which gives you the different models which you have created in each of these streams for the current session. These models can be browsed directly from the models tab, and you can add these models to different streams also. Maybe you have created a model in one stream, and if you want to use the same model in a different stream, that is where this models window will be very important as far as the modelers manager is concerned. The last one was the modular projects, which has basically two things, the CRISP DM and the classes. The CRISP DM tab provides a way to organize projects according to the cross-industry standard process for data mining. This is an industry-proven method for putting your entire project in an organized form. So you can put it under different folders which are actually available under this CRISP DM process. And the second way you can do is using the classes tab provides a way to organize your work in IBM SPSS modular categorically by the type of objects you have created, right? So This view is useful when taking inventory of data streams and models. If you want to see what are the different streams, what are the different data, what are the different models which you have done in this particular session, then the classes can be used. So this is about the basic layout of SPSS modeler and what are the different things you can do as a part of modeler. So these are some of the examples which people do. I'm trying to make a model to predict the loan defaulters. And now, in order to predict the loan defaulters, whether a particular person will default of the loan or not before I give him the loan. So I can use a Bayesian network model. I can use a neural network model. These are different models which we can make in SPSS modeler, and then using the analysis tool, I can compare across the different models. Which model is giving me the better result. The model that gives you the better result, that is the model which you can deploy on the server of that particular industry. So there are many things which you can do using this SPSS model. I was just trying to say that this is one example of predicting a loan defaulter, which you can do as a part of SPSS model. So this is a brief introduction to all of you as far as SPSS modeler is concerned, right? And now anything anybody would like to ask, because the session may end in an hour. So we have 5-7 minutes before you can ask anything which is related to modeler, SPSS, statistics, anything which you want to ask, right? I'll try to answer your question. Anything anybody wants to ask?
Sir, this is Kalyan here, and there was one question from Rajvinder Kaur asking, sir, is SPSS modular and SPSS both are different or same?
SPSS is a big category which has a number of applications inside it. The common ones are SPSS statistics. The second one is SPSS model, and the third one is SPSS MOS for structural equation modeling. These are the three more popular tools inside SPSS. Each one is a different entity in itself. Right? For all those people who are interested into pure statistics, there is SPSS statistics. For people who are interested to make models and deploy it, SPSS modeler. For people who are interested in structural equation modeling, there is SPSS. So these are the three basic ones which are actually.
Yeah, so Rajvinder Kaur says thanks for the clarification, sir. And yes, thank you so much, everyone. You have any more queries, feel free to ask. We can wait for a minute.
Any doubt anybody has, please feel free to ask. I'll certainly answer your doubt.
Okay, since I think at the moment there are no more questions, maybe looks like they may come up later. So do feel free if you still have any queries, and you can please write back to us to the contact from where you have been receiving communication. about the webinar, and we will be happy to answer your queries. So thank you so much once again. I think we can conclude today's webinar, and do feel free to reach us out for any clarification. And yes, we are going to come up with a workshop or a training, I would say, on the SPSS soon, which our team will announce shortly, and we will intimate you as well. And in case you find interesting, you do feel free to attend. And thank you so much, Mr. Saurav, for your time, for taking us through about the SPSS Modeler Introduction webinar. And it was really a nice overview, and we would like to roll out more such webinars in days to come with your help and support. And, we look forward to continue doing more such webinars.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Thank you so much once again, and have a good day and be safe. Take care of yourself.